Listen, I've got stuff to say. One of them being that if you hear loud huffing noises, it's my friend's dog that's sitting at the foot of my tripod. I'm here to talk about some hard-earned writing lessons that I've learned in the past year that have made the writing experience just so much better. If you remember the prose video I made a couple months ago, this is kind of an update on that and kind of not. So my writing and also like my general happiness and enjoyment in writing has gone up so much over the course of this year. Because just a few months ago, writing was getting so hard. To be fair, I was dealing with a giant plot hole and trying to just drag the plot forward without filling in the hole, which did not work at all. But I've just noticed such a dramatic change that I kind of had to take a look at it from a step back and figure out what I was doing different. Elaborate on how writing is going better. It's become easier to write large amounts. I'm talking like 4,000 words in a couple of hours. My prose has improved. It's working, guys. It's working. Like, I'm experiencing less white room syndrome, which basically means that you're envisioning your characters just sitting on like a white plane and you don't really know what's going on around them unless you really think about it. And just on the whole, I feel like my writing has become richer and truer, and it's astronomically more enjoyable. So after thinking about it a lot, I want to say the reason for all of this shift is because of four things. Possibly one of the biggest things that's been so good for me has been communion and community with other writers. Not just, I've always known other writers through the internet. Like, we have little conversations and we cheer each other on and stuff like that, and that's so good. But talking to other writers in person, getting to have long conversations with them and talk about how to fill each other's plot holes and study each other's characters and just rambling about stories that you like and why you like them is so encouraging and so helpful, and it makes you so much more excited about doing the craft that you're doing. And talking to all of these humans who create things has filled me with so much more drive to create things. Oh, it's the dog. It's the dog. Hello. Are you gonna let me finish my video? We may have the dog here for this video. I'll tell you what's more. Being friends with other writers, especially ones who are better at such and such a thing than you are, provides a challenge. I tend to look at other people who are more skilled than I am, usually through the sense of, I want to do that. There's the blueprint. I want to do that. I want to do what they're doing. I need to see what they are doing so that I also can do that thing. And then I become competitive, which is very good for skill learning, apparently. And it's made me become a lot better, especially in the prose department, because I have one particular friend who writes such excellent, flowy, exquisite prose. I love it. And she's really inspired me to do better in the prose department, which has also helped with my prose journey. Thing number 2, I am reading books I genuinely enjoy. Doesn't that sound stupid? That I haven't been reading books I genuinely enjoy, but I haven't. I mean, you read books in high school, right, that you have to read. And I kind of got into this mindset of, so if I don't hate it enough to want to gouge my eyeballs out, it's probably fine, right? So I should probably just finish it. That's a waste of my time. If I'm reading something I do not genuinely enjoy, I am very much wasting my time. And I'm also not letting the book serve the purpose that it's supposed to serve because I'm not enjoying it the way it's meant to be enjoyed. And that's a bit of a challenge for me because, honestly, there are not a lot of books that make me get excited, like jumping up and down with excitement, kind of, I love it, I love it, I love it. But reading all of the books that I was studying for prose started all this, because those are all books that I already deeply enjoy, that I love. And I was not only reading them, but I was studying them. I was literally taking physical notes on what was happening in the book and reading parts of it aloud to see why they resonated with me. And not just reading them, but learning from them, which I think has also made an enormous difference. Number 3, I have been taking a lot of writing and editing courses, especially editing courses, because I wanted to get better at self-editing, at knowing why the words I put on the page were there and how they could be better. And so I took 2 courses already, just quick courses. There are about 2 more that I also want to do, and several books that I have saved on my computer that I want to read as well. And I think already just the bit that I've done has made such a difference, because I've edited a few short stories since doing those courses, and I'll find myself wondering, is the word that's at the end of this sentence impacting the sentence the way I want, or should I rearrange the sentence so that it ends with a different word? Or could I use fewer words here? What would happen if I cut 100 words out of this section? How many unnecessary words are there here? And it just makes me think differently about what words I'm putting on the page and what words I choose to keep there. Number 4, which has been the thing that's been on my mind most recently, is observation. So they tell you in like every writing book, right? They tell you observe, go out and see stuff, sit in a place and just stare at stuff. And I always thought like, yeah, I'm doing that. You know, I have eyes, I'm using them, right? I was not being intentional. One of the editing courses that I've started and haven't finished is N.D. Wilson's writing course. N.D. Wilson is an incredible writer, writes wonderful books, beautiful, beautiful visuals. I have at least 5 of his books and I want more. And he starts with the bare minimum. Go and sit in a place that you know, and if you can't describe that place well, it means that you can't describe any place well. I was kind of taken aback. I've never been good at describing places where I'm physically sitting. It's very difficult. And I was like, well, you know, I can't describe real life places very well, but imaginary places, you know, I can't really describe imaginary places well either. And those things are definitely connected. But I've been doing so much more observation lately, and I think it's made it so much easier to write descriptions, to know how my character's surroundings look as I'm writing. It's been so nice. I think everything I've said in this video has been, it's so good, it's so nice, but really, really, finding it easier and more enjoyable and lovable to do something that you already love, to love it even more. So nice, it's so good, it's so beautiful. So get up, get off your phone, go and observe intentionally, go on a walk and just drink in all the detail around you and listen to the way people talk and the way they laugh, and look at the way they sit and the way they eat, and look at everything all around you. Keep your eyes wide, wide, wide open. So wide open your eyes dry out if you have to. Describe everything that you see to yourself, and it makes things so much easier to write once you're just making them up in your head. Once you're making them up in your head and putting them on a page, having that observation to back you up makes it so much easier. So you'll notice that all 4 things I've been talking about are all intake kind of things. None of them are like practices or writing exercises or anything. No, they're all intake things. You know why? Because they are fuel. You're intaking fuel. You cannot write in a vacuum. So my problem is I've always been very good at muscling through and sticking to discipline and things like that. And those are very helpful things. I think they have helped me to get further as a writer than I would have possibly done without all of that mental muscle, right? However, if all my writing is surviving on is just the mental muscle, the sit down and do it every day, every day, every day, every day, and do nothing else, it's going to cause me burnout, and it has. Do not, I will repeat, because I'm talking to you and to myself in the past, do not create art in a vacuum. You can't sit in a little glass bubble and do nothing but crank out words day in, day out. It'll work for a while, and then it'll stop working. You know why? Because you have no fuel, you have no enrichment in your little tiger enclosure, if you will, and it's going to take you out in the end. And not only that, but it makes it so much less enjoyable to write when you don't have actual fuel and passion and drive to make it happen. If you're just writing because you have to and not because, oh wow, I can picture just how I want to do this scene, it's going to be so great. If you're just making yourself write, it's not going to work. The bottom line here, I had a lot to say because I was so excited. Do not create art in a vacuum. Go meet other writers and study and learn and grow. And the creative process is so much more enjoyable. It's so much better. And you will love it more. That's all.